In the first segment, the mindset segment, today, we are going to handle something that is, it's going to shake a bit of tables because some of us actively going through the things that I am going to talk about. You're tightening your seatbelts. Better tighten your seat. They're everyday things that we go through. But I felt like as the year is beginning, there's going to be a lot of attacks. There's going to be a lot of us giving up before we even start the year, okay? But again, more than anything, there's going to be a lot of poverty. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of poverty. So welcome those that are online and those that are joining us in this mindset segment. And we are talking about the things that are going to keep us poor this year. That means you decide whether you are going to do the opposite or you are going to do exactly what we have said that will keep you in a vicious cycle of poverty. And when you stay in a vicious cycle of poverty, it's not only about you, but it's about your descendants, it's about your daughters. So I want you to think twice and ask yourself, do I want my daughters, my sons, my children to live a life of a vicious cycle that I started? Yeah? And I am handing over, instead of handing over a legacy, instead of what the Bible says, that a wise man leaves inheritance for their children, what you end up doing is you pass on tears, you pass on regrets, you pass on doubt, you pass on trauma, and you just pass on a failed life. Like you have not given them a chance from the start. All because there are things that we could have done, but we actually didn't do them. And most of these things actually accumulate into the daily habits that we talk about. And what are habits? I think habits are practices, right? If we can put it in simple terms. They are practices or tendencies, right? But practices, my main concern when it comes to summing down everything that we are going to talk about into habits is that habits are very hard to break. Very hard to break. That even when you know that what I am doing is a bad habit, it becomes hard to break. And that is exactly why we are training as coaches, as mentors, or we have ongoing kind of education which we must have to update our minds and upgrade our minds about the constant battle that the people we are helping are actually going through. So what we struggle with, they are struggling with. But that means we are maybe one step ahead of them. That our awareness is way ahead of them. And now what we want to do is to be able to hold their hands, to change, to shift beliefs and mindsets, and that is what we call transformational. And you can't give what you don't have. So that means if you're still lingering in the limbo of bad behaviors and bad habits and tendencies and practices, the only thing is, toina chongamba. Can you be better so that you can tell me better? Right? And let me tell you, we have a way as human beings of smelling, yeah? People that have not been transformed trying to tell us to transform. We know. You'll be there dressing all nice. You've done all the epic makeup from all the top makeup artists in this country. You know, Samanyi mouth by Huati. I think one of these days we are about to get makeup artists who say, this one specializes in eyebrow. So you're like, eyebrow by so-and-so, nose by so-and-so. Yeah, because there are those that have, and then mouth by so-and-so, and then contouring by so-and-so. And then dress also, you put by so-and-so. What are they called? Accessories by so-and-so, shoes by so-and-so, hair by so-and-so. And then hair, there is also, what is it calling? The wigs installing. Yes, you are in class. Wig installation. Wig bought from different place. Installation by a different place. But you are the one that took yourself there. And then all of a sudden, you come and stand on stage. And these days, you don't even need stage. You stand on your social media platforms. And you start speaking how people should be transformed. We are going to look through your makeup. We are going to look through your nose. We are going to look through your dresses, whether they are designer dresses. Like, we are going to look through everything. And guess what? We will go to someone who puts on rags, but they speak sense. And they speak transformation. All right? So it is very crucial that if we are going to represent any form of transformation, then it begins internally. Now, there are so many things, so many habits that we are going to talk about today, but I want us to start with the health habits. We have health habits, we have fantasy, we have focus, we have financial, we have so many habits, okay? But where we will end is where we will end. This table will continue being shaken. But I seriously want us to start with the health habits. Yeah? Some of us have a way of neglecting our physical, our mental, and you know that while you are neglecting them, your medical bills are going high. So you're buying more medicine. Instead of using nature, instead of using willpower, instead of developing better habits, guys, I have come to like working out. That if I do not work out, I have made a loss. Like, seriously, I have made a loss. It has been a constant habit for the past 2 months on a daily with an instructor. And I'm seeing results. You're not seeing results? Yes, I was healthy, but let me tell you, everything can get better. Your finances can get better. Your intelligence can get better. You can get better emotionally. You can get better health-wise. Because to everything, there is literally medicine for everything. And some of that medicine is not even supposed to be bought, to be paid for highly. You're suffering with bloating. You're suffering with what? Someone is laughing. And with ladies, you're even avoiding certain dresses because of bloating, and overeating. How much money? You are just stuffing your body, eh? You are putting in this and you're putting in that and you're putting, there is no even space, but you're like, you will go in. Now, I want us this year to just decide. Because if we are going to stay in the vicious cycle of poverty, then don't dare do anything. But one of the things is us failing or neglecting on our health. That is going to keep us in poverty. Let me tell you, do you know that whenever your health, your mental capacity, your health is not fine, mentally there is fog, there is lack of clarity, even what you would have done, you cannot do it. Like, you're not thinking straight. Eh? It's like you're seeing things, but you're not seeing them. And then you keep procrastinating, and then you keep saying, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it. You feel fatigued. You feel tired. You feel exhausted. Why? You have not taken care of your mental, your health. You have neglected it. So now, some of us have medicine cabinets that are full. You have fragile, you have, like, there is literally everything. I'm not saying it's bad. Past some age, sometimes you have to move with some bit of medicine because then, but let me tell you, I will tell you that past some age, you can still be very, very fit and you can still be very well put together and you will not need any kind of medicine. You've seen, and these days, you've seen people that are 80 looking like 40, like 30. And in my heart, I'm like, no, there is no getting old, my friend. I am not getting old. I have refused. My skin will stay young. My body will stay young. I still have to serve the whole generation. I was told that there is a generation beta. What? Better? I've not even looked at it. Like, I have not. Because Generation Alpha ended last year. Now there is a whole another generation. And guess what? I must look cute and demure and mindful and thoughtful while I am talking to them. I'm waiting for them 30 years to come. I am waiting. I am waiting for them. We are going to be here and we are going to be thriving, traveling the nations and transforming lives. So don't get old on me. Do not get old on me. Yeah? And some of us spending excessively. Spending excessively on unhealthy habits like overeating. I have mentioned them. Yeah? That is part of health. Some people smoke. Some people drink. You are spending excessively. And why? Because some of us are bandaging some wounds. Some of us are bandaging some wounds. Some of us are bandaging, some trauma. Some of us are bandaging some stress. And so we are spending so highly. But remember, the reason as to why I put this under health is because the smoking, the overeating, the everything is actually going to cause health issues. So now it is going back to high bills when you are already overspending. It looks small. But when we change some habits, a significant change and shift happens in our lives. The failure to connect your health and financial well-being. The failure to connect your health and financial well-being. That is going to keep us in poverty if we are not careful. Because the moment I know that if I am healthy, I am going to show up maximally. If I am healthy, I am going to have the energy. If I am healthy, as in I am not going to have any kind of limitations. That means my finances are going to thrive because I am healthy. So if you cannot make the connection, that is poverty. Yeah? And it says, a little slumber here and a little sleep there. And the poverty will pounce on you like a vagabond. Like a vagabond. It will jump on you like a vagabond. Okay? So I need us to quickly go to focus, because focus is another area that we have so many issues with. Focusing on lack instead of abundance. Guys, abundance is everywhere around us. Abundance is everywhere. And I think I have learned it the hard way or through time that whatever I focus my mind on is the result I attract, is what I get. And abundance does not mean lack of lack. No? Or lack does not mean that there is no abundance. That means that they are all existing. So it is what we choose to dwell on. Guys, haven't you ever felt it like if your mind keeps rehearsing something, you keep seeing it? Or it even happens. The mind is a very powerful tool. Very powerful tool. But we obsess so much on what we are lacking instead of what we have. So this year, if you obsess on what you lack, you're going to go into a complaining mode, and you are going to be, every time you're like, I don't have that one, I don't have that one. And you are not. You become like Ariel, my son. Like you have bought him a new car, a new toy car. And you bought him the biggest because you know he's the most complaining one. The others, you buy them small cars. Others, you don't even buy. You're like, Agwe, you're old. I'm not going to buy for you. Now, immediately he gets it and puts it here. He's like, but mommy, why didn't you buy for me the yellow one? He has the orange one. You know he loves color orange. So you bought color orange, and he loves big things, so you bought big things. Now, why didn't you buy but why is it that Ariella has something purple? I also want something purple. But Asahel has a man driving in his toy car. Can I also get a man? Like, he's always looking for what he does not have. As in, can I have, there is a pink bubble gun. But can I also have a blue one? Like, the pink one is not useful in that moment. And the moment you feel like that, everything feels like you don't have enough. It feels like there is nothing. How many of us, we have things in our lives that we have neglected, and we are all focusing on the lack. Oh, I lack new clothes, but you're not looking at the ones that you have. Yeah? You know, I lack this, but you are not even looking, not even maximally using what you have. So abundance is always present, and lack is always present. If you choose to focus on lack, that is going to keep you in poverty this year. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have that. The other person seems to be having it better than me. If I want something, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to align my mind. And I am going to think on it. Just like the Bible says that if it is good, if it is noble, if it is like, think on that. Let me tell you, so many times, if I think and I didn't know that, by the way, I was doing it like that, but now I went back to my life and looked at all the things that I have overdwelt on and realized that everything I have ever dwelt on, God has given it to me. And it's not about bragging, but there is nothing I have wanted in this life that God has not given. There is nothing. And now that sets me up for more wins. Why? Because my mindset knows if I desire it and it's in God's will for me to have it, I am going to have it. I have abundance all around me. Do you know that the first temptation in the Bible was about lack? Eve. God has given them a whole forest, a whole garden of trees. And he says, eat from every tree, like every tree. But the tree of life. And guess what? The devil uses. When he comes, he dwells on that one tree, yeah, that was not meant to be eaten. And he's exaggerating their lack of, why can't you eat from this tree? Like, why? But they have more than thousands of other trees that they can eat from. And all of a sudden, maybe if Eve was outside the circumference of the garden, let's say this is the garden, and she's out, she is going to bypass all these other trees and go to the middle of the garden where there is the tree that they forfeited them from eating from. And that is because the enemy has exaggerated what they lack and has blinded them from the abundance that is around. So ask yourself, be honest with yourself. Are you focusing on lack or you are focusing on abundance? Whatever you are focusing on, let me tell you, we can change the trajectory of things with our minds. With our minds. Do you know what the witch doctors say? You know the witch doctors that say, we are going to return your ex. If your ex left you, we are going to bring back your ex. Do you know what they focus on? It is aligning your mind. That is all they do. Because when they align your mind, now you have come, your hair has been falling off, you have been so stressed, and all of a sudden, they give you a stick that they picked up from somewhere else. They give it to you and tell you that this stick has power. The moment you say these words in the morning, okay, or even when you're going to meet him, make sure that you are within the vicinity where you can meet him. If it's an office, pass by his office, okay, but after saying such kind of words. Remember, they have given you a stick that they picked up from somewhere. All of a sudden, now they have put you in proximity with this person because this person has to see you in order for these things to work. So guess what? You are not going to pass by your ex with falling out hair. You are going to go to the salon. And then you're going to put on the bed sleep while you are moving across. And so what they have done is they have exaggerated the abundance of it is possible for you to win back your ex. And they have belittled the lack that it is impossible. Now all of a sudden your faith is in 150. So even when you are moving, your cleavage is going to look different, my friend. Your booty is going to look different. Yeah? The way you are going, as in the way you will hydrate, the way you will moisturize, the way you will kukute chigere, the way you, as in things are going, the kind of cloth you are going, tell me that I am wrong. You will do everything because they have given you evidence that it is possible. So why is it so hard for us to accept the evidence that it is very possible for us to have the kind of life that we want? Why is it so hard? What are you focusing on? It's a habit, by the way. When you start that habit, I told you of a Christmas that I sat in church while my mother was preaching. Yeah, it was at 12 p.m. Yeah? And at around 12:30, before I even wrote the heading of what she was preaching, before I looked at her, she introduced what she was going to say, and indeed it stirred up my faith. When it stirred up my faith, I was like, I am not writing anything from this sermon, okay? I am diving into my own mindset. And now I was like, I am writing 7 things, because I believe in the number 7 as a number of fulfillment. I was like, I am writing 7 things that next year I come back to this church at this very time, and I wrote it 12:13, and I will possess everything I have on this. It was an iPhone. I wrote all the 7 things, and indeed I even said, thank you, Lord, because I have all these things. By this year, and this date and this particular time, I will be here in this same church giving praise and testimony. And I closed my iPhone. I will tell you, by next year, Christmas, same time, I had everything on that list. And guess what? They were all impossible things. Do you know impossible things? Impossible things. Ask me, what are the impossibles? The impossibles is, I'm not in any relationship, but by next Christmas, I must be married and pregnant. Yeah. That is, what? Why am I telling you my secrets? Like, seriously. I was like, I'll be in this church, pregnant. Yeah. And then married to a man I love, and a man that loves me and adores me. Just imagine, like, you're giving God a list of impossibilities. And let me tell you, the devil can whisper. But there are times when you just need to say, you know what, this time, I am tight, I am airtight. Nothing, not even a voice of the enemy, of the devil coming through my brain. Like, my faith is so high, I cannot even hear anything else. All I am hearing is, these things are possible. And they are indeed possible. And I remember mentioning the kind of money I wanted to make that year. And I remember mentioning the countries I wanted to travel that year. And I will tell you, everything that I wrote on that list, everything came to pass. I was back the following Christmas, pregnant. Not pregnant out of wedlock, no. After a proper wedding. Now, is there anything that is impossible? Even the Bible says it, that with God, everything is possible. I don't know the kind of God that you believe in, but if your God is a playing God and a games God, please borrow my God. Borrow my God. I was telling some people over during the week, and I was telling them, guys, let me be the living testament, because we were talking about my God, my trust, and we were talking about trusting the Lord with all your heart. And I had written all notes, like 6 pages, and I didn't speak anything from the 6 pages. I told them. The first statement I wrote for a full hour, I talked about how I have trusted God all my life and how God has never let me down. Never let me down. And why? Because when you fast, okay, and you are praying, that means you are exaggerating the possibilities and you are putting down the impossibilities. When you are praying, it is in faith, and you are praying to someone that you trust. You cannot bring your issues to someone you do not trust, right? But this is what we do. We have half trust. We're like, this is too big. I don't think this is going to even happen. I don't think this kind of money. Okay, let me just write it for the sake, but So abundance is around us. Abundance is the day you will learn that. The day you will learn that. I usually tell the people around me, nothing stresses me. Nothing. Because I have learned that if I align my mind, whatever it is that has come to stress me, I have the right to overturn it. And I overturn it not with words, not with, I am the kind who is not reactionary. I am the kind who responds, okay? And I overturn it by, I will look at it like this, and I will be like, you are upside down. Go back to the right way. And I don't think that God gave that ability to only me. I think there's so many people that have experienced the power of abundance and the power of aligning their minds with what they want, and it actually comes to pass. If you have never tried it, I want you to try it this year. I want you to try it this year. Because abundance has actions to it, attracting abundance. Yeah, it has actions to it. So sometimes it's the actions that are hard because we don't have evidence in order for us to act. Some of us wait for evidence. Now, for us who are manifestors, constant manifestors, I call myself that, is I don't need evidence of whether it is possible for me to act. I will act without evidence. And guess what? God will bless it. I told this year, this is a year, I told God this is a year of speed. When you tell me something, I am not going to ask how, I am not going to ask when, I am going to do. Be obedient and surrender. So guess what? On the 29th of December, I conceived an idea about teenagers. Yeah? And I was like, but why don't I put up, I didn't talk about it in December because I had never gotten it. By the way, I was busy eating and cooking and having fun and hosting. 29th of December, I get an idea. And I'm like, on 2nd of January, we are starting. Obedience and fast. Now, I want to show you the power of obedience and acting without evidence. Today, I got a call from an agency that has many companies that would want to come on board and sponsor the teenagers workshop. Call me mad, but I will keep being fast. I told Uncle Ben that this year is the year you're going to tell me, but slow down. And I'll be like, catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. Otherwise, yesterday I saw a reel about, it's a Nigerian actor. I don't know whether you've seen him. The one who does na 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 and he moves sideways. That one. So yesterday he made a reel and he was like, this is how I am looking at broke guys in 2025. So, did you see it? Oh my God, I laughed. I watched that reel like 1,000 times. The way the girl vanished, or the man vanished, because he's a man in a dress. He bypassed a broke guy. By the time a broke guy looked back, like she was far off and she was moving in zigzag. Eh? As in, confuse the devil and confuse all the confusers. You are not catching me. Not this year. And I was like, people have a sense of humor. So now I gave a challenge to my producer. Catch me if you can. But you will be telling me, slow down. That date is too close. And I will be like, when I sent him the artwork of the teens, guess what? I had told Lawson to do artwork. And I felt he was too slow. I went to Canva, did my own artwork, sent it to my producer. And my producer was like, you did this in Canva. I was like, yes, lol, but it is already up and running. And people are already registering. Do you see how fast that is? As in, that is me manifesting. There is no single child that has paid, but I know they will come. So, in 2 days, you better show up because this show is going down. Whether I sit down alone in that boardroom, this show is going down. You guys, these things need craziness. I have been doing this for how many years? So if I tell you you need to be crazy and stubborn, you need to be crazy and stubborn. Otherwise, nothing will ever happen. If you are waiting for, you know what, let's prepare proper dates so that we go according to the year calendar. You know, this is supposed to be done in September, and you're looking all cute and demure and what? Osembi. Poverty is pouncing on you like a vagabond. Okay, so let's move on from abundance because some of you will stone me. But the enemy tricks us all the time. He tricks us all the time like he tricked Eve to focus on what was lacking and not focus on what the abundance that is actually present. Let me tell you, even if it is sickness, the moment you align your mind, Some of these things my husband doesn't know. He will be sick and I will be sick. And we will go to a pharmacy and buy medicine. And guess what? I will give him, I will be the good wife that brings medicine in my hands and water in the other and give him, and he will ask me, have you taken yours? Yes, I have taken mine. And then I go, I hide. These things he will hear them on. In my heart of hearts, I'm like, am I sick? No, I am not sick. Even if I am coughing already, even if I have some signs of anything, I'm like, no, I am not sick. So better go and blend some turmeric, blend some oranges, blend some lemons, put them together, slap something together, and drink that for the rest of the week. Guess what? It is giving you beautiful skin. It is taking away all the bloating. And guess what? I am not sick anymore. And I'm not taking any medicine. Thank you very much. The only medicine I had to take painfully were the vitamins during pregnancy. Oh, those ones. Every single day. And on my last born, I had to take hormones every day. You know how I hate medicine. You would rather give me an injection. But abundance is everywhere. Abundance of health. Yeah? Abundance of love. Guys, do you know that you can attract love? Yeah. You can. You can attract love. Let me tell you, you can attract someone who was becoming slippery and thinking they are so wise, and they turn their head and they're like, hey, I thought I didn't like you anymore, but now I like you again. The power of your mind. So there is abundant love. Yeah, I know some of these things are going to take long, but let's go to the next thing. Focusing on limitations more than your abilities. You know, I can't do this. You know, I can't do that. Can we assess what you can do? Can we? You are focusing on what you can't do. You are wasting a lot of time. You know, I can't handle this. You know, I can't do this work. Why do people say that, you know what, I can learn on job? Those are the people that say, throw a challenge to me. I am here and I am going to learn and I am going to perform better than everyone that is around. And let me tell you, those people end up being promoted and they leave people that have been lingering in that same company for the past 10 years with a mindset that is focused on limitations and not looking at what they can do. Yeah? As in for you, you can't do it. Why can't you do this? Let me tell you, there is no single day in my life I have ever thought that there is something on this earth that I can never do. There is nothing. Tell me to do, if you tell me, what? There is a heap of clothes and you need to wash them with your hands. My friend, I will be there, even dancing in the Benson while I am, you know, stepping on the blankets, you know? No, I have not gone through life and learned the lessons for no good reason. Tell me to cook for 100 people, and in the next 2 hours, you will have a 6-course meal. Why? The power of the mind. Whatever it is that anyone else can do, if there is any example of anyone that has broken a record in this world, I will try to break that record as well. I am not limited. We just limit ourselves. At least if I cannot thrive in that, if they say, you know, running, I'll be like, no, I'm not good at running. But give me the athletes, I will mentor them. Their mindset will change and they will perform better. Like seriously, I will highlight what I can. And let me tell you, as employers, we love people who highlight what they can do. Like, yes, I can learn on job, but previously, this is what I have done and this is what I have done. And I believe there is no challenge that can be thrown at me. But now that is a positive attitude and mindset. And I would love to grow with that person. I would rather not take a person that is highly talented, but with a bad attitude and with a wrong attitude. But if you have a good attitude, I know that you can become anything in this world. So I will grow with you. I will give you a chance. So let's stop. How is that helping you? You fixing and fixating your attention and focusing on what you can't do. It's not helping. We learn everything. and everything is figure outable. You say, you know, now that one, birimo okusubula, you know, going downtown, abagenda yonchima, obagolichi. No, like seriously. If we want to adapt mindsets that we would want to pass on to our children, let's adapt mindsets that are adaptable and they are flexible and they can embrace. Instead of fixating on what we can't do, because the moment you have that, let me tell you, it rubs on so quickly. Your child will, because they will see you doing it and saying it, and all of a sudden, they will feel like they can also abstain from certain things and can't do certain things. Now you have passed on whatever you are going to rub onto your children. So be careful what you want to rub onto them. The kind of mindsets that you would want to rub onto them. I didn't focus on my limitations. Learning to be a coach or whatever it is that I am doing, people development, that is something that I gave myself a chance to learn. That is something that you have given yourself a chance to learn. Otherwise, you would have said, there is someone I was talking to recently, and I think they were thinking of enrolling, and there are a number of them. They're like, do those things involve social media? And they're like, if they involve social media, I will not come. I will not, because I don't want those things of posting things and posting what. These days, ne woba otunda sumbusa oyina okubeera ku social media. Ne woba otunda manda. Yeah? These corner shops, that means you are only looking at the people that are around you. But if you're selling sacks of what? If you put yours and you're like, you know what, we can deliver to your home and we give you good charcoal, you know, that no tekam no Luganda, no bagamba banange bino sibire. Yeah, they are not going to... Why are you laughing? I didn't know it in English. English caught up with me. Yeah? And before you know it, people are calling, deliver Kansanga, deliver Chiwatule, deliver Ntinda. Why? Because you are on social media. So anything that you want to do in this age and era, if you're still the old-fashioned kind who says, for me, I don't want social media, stop breathing. So don't focus on your limitations. Don't focus on your abilities. What can I do? What is the starting step? But for me, I can't exercise every day after my workout. I will tell you that I still have an issue with my knees. For those of you that have long enough, know that I have an issue with my knee. Even now, it is inflamed. But today morning, I was working out, and they're telling me, but maybe we should cut down the time. I'm like, no, I need the workout. It will become inflamed. I will try to do anything that will take it back. I will rest if I must, but tomorrow I'm going to be back exercising, and the other day I will be back exercising. So either my knees get used to it, or it's okay, we are going to live an inflamed life. We are going to look for a doctor to tell us what the issue is. And one of them, I actually went researching, and the issue is overuse injury. The moment you use it for a longer time than you're supposed to use it, then it gets inflamed. But is that going to stop me from exercising? No. I told you I'm waiting for generation what? That one. I am waiting for that generation. Okay? And so, fall in love. Okay? Find an ability. Focus on it. And fall in love with it. And guess what? It's going to fall in love with you. It's going to bless you. And it's going to do a lot more. And then, the other thing we love focusing on are the losses more than the accomplishments. The losses, let me tell you, if there is anyone that is so quick to cut their losses, me teacher, cut their losses. Like before the loss has manifested, for me, I have cut. Everyone that is in my life knows I do not waste time on closed doors. I do not waste time crying for things that have gone. I would not, clearly, it has been wiped from my mind. That is how dangerous it is. Very decisive. Very decisive. Like, that has gone, it has gone. It's like someone telling me that, you know what, now this person has gone and this person has been the only one that has been doing this and this person has been the only one that has been doing what? I'm like, other people will appear. Like, we can't fail. We can't. There is no way we can fail. Either it's a maid that has gone. Either it's an askari or it's a chef, you know, as in anything. Like, what did they say? No, that's okay. Like, so what are we going to do? We will figure it out. But some of us, the losses become our point of focus. So when they become a point of focus, for example, your child was not admitted to a certain school, and then that is the kind of conversation you to auntie, to uncle, so and so. Can you believe it? They didn't give us space. Can you believe it? They didn't give us space. Can you believe it? Can you stop it? I have forgotten it, and now it is not even as important that even if you give it back to me, I will not consider it as important. Like, I have moved on. I quickly make an about turn. Like, pew! I have looked the opposite way. And so while you're tapping me, you know, Kakati, why didn't you think about the alternative long time ago, you know? You're wasting my mind. I'm in the movement. I am going. I'm not stopping anywhere. Now, I know that some of these things they do not come as simple. And I will tell you, they did not come as simple to me. I believe some of them, it has been so many things that I have gone through, some of my stories you have heard, that have taught me how to bounce back, that have taught me how to have loose grip on certain things and not wholly, and you know, malayo, and my whole life is dependent on that. The only thing and only person I am all dependent on, the Almighty God. That one. My whole trust is in Him. It's like you tell me to fall, and I know that He's going to be there to catch me. And I will tell you that, by the way, even if He is not there and I fall, I will still believe in Him. I will still count on God. Okay? So I need you to stop focusing on the losses and look at the accomplishments, because when you look at the accomplishments, then you're going to get more energy to go ahead and accomplish other things. And so if I did that, there is track record. If I did that, some of us start doubting ourselves, and yet there are some conquests or some things that we have conquered in the past. So look back and say, if I conquered that, then I am actually going to conquer this. That is the story of David. He's like, you know, I fought with bears, I fought with lions, bare hands. Here you are giving me simanyi shields, giving me heavy things. It's like, no, I picked my stones, 5 stones like this, and I have my sling. I'm just going to do this. But I think everyone was reminding him, you're fighting with a giant that is covered in metal, and there is no space for anything to even go. The giant who is 6 feet and has 6 fingers and has 6 feet, yeah? And has been blaspheming against the army of God and calling them if there is a man amongst you. And the man is the small David from the house of Jesse. That God dared to anoint him and send him off to go and look after his father's sheep. And he killed the bear and killed the lion, and now he has the track record. He remembers vividly that when a lion was attacking a lamb, I tore its jaw and I took the lamb out. And he's like, you know what, who is this man? Who is this man? And then he's like, no, let me not forget what is in this for me. The man that kills that man, what do they get? That means like he had trust that, you know what, I am going to beat him down. I am going to beat him down. So you take a spear, it is heavy. Take a shield, it is heavy. And he's like, no, my stones are enough. And everyone, I think they were like, you know what? You know, people who stand on the fences and start judging. Oh, God, this shepherd boy. Let's see. Let's give them the benefit of doubt, you know? And all of a sudden, of all the spaces the stone had to hit, it hit the joint of the metallic cloth. The joint. You know how you will do like this, or how you will have a joint somewhere, and the stone penetrates and gets into the joint, and one stone is enough to kill a giant. When you focus on your accomplishments, then you draw enough energy and say, no, nothing can stand against me. If I overcame depression, if I overcame the kind of stress that I went, if I overcame that heartbreak, who will stand before me? Who? Nothing. Will it pain? Yes. Will it hurt? Yes, it will hurt. But I will wrap up that chapter so quickly and face the other side. I'll be so decisive and not just look at my losses. All right? So you see the things that we keep focusing on, I want us to stop focusing on them because they are not going to help you. And some of us, we keep focusing on blaming others. This year, it is going to keep you in poverty. My mother didn't give me an inheritance. You know, I come from a poor family. You know, I tell my boyfriend, you know, I have a poor boyfriend. Why are you telling us about your poor boyfriend? Who chose him for you? Exactly. Mind your business. Mind your business. If anything, you should be building him, not talking about him. So you see what decisive minds? So blaming others, looking at them and pointing fingers and say it's because of so and so, because of my husband, because of, you know, before of giving birth, you know, the time that I was pregnant, you know, there are people that usually call me, you know, when I was pregnant and then I shut down my business and then I became pregnant again, and then no sooner when I was about to start another business, I discovered I was pregnant, and then I am like, why are you blaming pregnancy? Pregnancy is not sickness. Yeah, let's stop blaming anything. And some of us are focusing on multitasking without any clear priorities. We are like, we are going to hold this and hold that and take this with us, and then we are going to do this, and then we will do this again, and then before you know it, you are confused. You have confused yourself, and when you are confused, your speed is down. Multitasking. That is why I said this year, I divided all my goals into the 4 quarters. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to focus. I'm not going to focus on all the goals at the same time. I will focus on some in the first quarter. And if it is not accomplished, I will, what do they say? Forward it? Yeah. I will forward it. I was looking for that thing of Smanyi reminder, this, Smanyi. You know those things that we did in primary? Yeah, but I will forward it. It's okay. I will forward it. And then, if it is accomplished, I will replace it with another goal until I can be able to achieve what I want. That means I have clarity of what I am setting out to do. Okay? Because if you have clarity, yes, you can handle a number of projects, but you know where to put most of your energy. You know what comes next. Last year, God told me specifically, concentrate on one thing. That is why you didn't see any, hold my hand. That is why you didn't see anything. It was like, concentrate on mentoring. Concentrate on mentoring. I closed everything else. I told you, me, I listen and I'm obedient. I closed everything else and concentrated on mentoring. And I hit all the goals that I needed to hit. Financially, definitely not from mentoring, from either businesses, everything that I wanted to hit, but I concentrated on one thing the most, and that was mentoring. So I need you to find clarity. What is it? Are you holding on to so many things? Okay? Are you holding on to so many? And then some of us are focusing on quick fixes. We don't want long term. We don't want to take time. We want, and you're like, you know what? You know, this fitness coach, okay, has promised that you can lose your belly fat in 7 days. And you're like, these ones have been lying to me. You sign up, they give you a meal plan. If they thought I needed a meal plan, they think I can't plan for myself, the meals. Eh? Simanya accountability, Simanya what, I've taken 6 months, Simanya I'm not losing the belly fat, and someone is promising fupa gone in 7 days. You know, we love people who fraud us, and all of a sudden you pay your money. You pay your money, right? And then guess what? They are also telling you the things you must do in order to lose. And guess what? You do not want to do. You want quick fixes. Yeah? You're like, if you take this ointment like this, after bathing, just rub it on your stomach. And then just wrap your whatever it is, whatever, and go to sleep. You know, you will be like you are working out, but when you are sleeping. Hey! Sometimes the devil makes something sound too good. And then all of a sudden, it costs how much? 500,000 or even 1,000,000 shillings. An instructor was asking you for maybe 500,000 or 400,000. You are paying 1,000,000 shillings because you want a quick fix of something that you have been given that you're going to rub on your bellies. And then all of a sudden, you rub it one day, 7th days, you're actually bigger than you were before. Yeah, the tummy is bigger, more fat. Because they told you you will lose weight while you're sleeping. So now your eating increases immediately. Yeah. Someone has offered you a quick fix. It's like someone who calls you. It's like, there is this deal. There's people, Beba Feda, if you can buy these machines and send them to me, I can be able to sell them to another person, and then they are going to give us this kind of money. Oh, muise musiru, tamanyije babitunda. Why don't they go and buy them themselves so that they can make that money? It's because they want to use your money. And when you focus on quick fixes, yeah, you're like, no, you don't need a following. You don't need to have any certificate in coaching. You don't need anything. Just create your digital product and you're going to be rich for the whole of this year. You create your digital product and now it is time to market. You have zero personal brand. No one knows about you. Wanji? Public speaking, zero. Confidence, zero. And then you die with your digital half-baked, not even half-baked, quarter-baked. What is less than quarter? Sorry? 0.00 baked digital product. Because someone wanted to sell you something so quickly and they didn't mind whether you were even going to help anyone or it was even going to work. Because for them, they want to sell their knowledge of creating a digital product. And you cannot get them anywhere. They're not going to hold your hand. So now they have given you a template. You have bought it a lot of money. You have gone, slapped together. It's like someone who says, you slap together a meal. You slap it together, and then you're like, you expect a nice meal. No, you slapped it together. It didn't go through the process. Quick fixes. I don't want a prolonged program. You know what? Mentorship is what? Mentorship is 12 weeks. I was looking for something like for 3 days like this. So that. And then what? In the inner circle, we spend how long? We spend a full year. Like a full year doing what? A full year doing what? We want quick fixes. Just imagine if anyone in this earth, the Chinese have not yet come up with that you can be pregnant for 1 month and give birth to a normal child. Do you think all women would not be going for pregnant for 1 month? But pregnant for 1 month, you are already vomiting, you are already falling apart, your skin is not skinning anymore. You get into the second trimester, the pains start. Smanyi pelvic pain. Whenever you lift your leg, it's like you're tearing yourself. As in, God knew that there is a process for everything. And there is a maturation date for everything. So if you want quick fixes, you are aborting. Aborting the mission. And God is not happy about that. Yeah? Let's get away from focusing because we will keep focusing and focusing. Let's just, in a way, talk about money because we are talking about being poor, right? The things that are going to keep us in poverty. And we don't want to keep in poverty. Now, some of them are constantly trading your time for money. Trading your time for money. I'm going to explain. I know this does not come easy. Okay, it does not come easy, but since this is actually people helpers, destiny helpers, mentors, coaches, public speakers, and people that this is something that you actually need to hear. Because if you're going to be everywhere at every time, you're going to use too much time and convert it to less money. Too much time and convert it to less money. Time is a limited resource. Right? Money is also a limited resource. So that means and time will always be will always be bigger than the money. So now if you learn and say, what can I do? And by the way, before I even went into doing all the things that I did, I didn't even know it was about time. But for me, I tried to collapse time. I was like, you know what? How many people am I going to meet when I just started coaching? It's like I'm meeting every day people that are going through narcissistic relationships, people that are going through toxic relationships. And I can see one trait in all of them. They have failed to love themselves. They have failed to choose themselves. Okay? And so that is how I actually went into, and this is a question that actually my husband asked me, because I told you how I wrote the first book. I wrote a totally different book. This is me choosing me. It was also good, kind of okay. But when I sat with him and he was reading through my manuscript, he looked at me and was like, I don't feel you in this book. I feel like you are leaving yourself behind. What is that common thing that the people you have been coaching and the people that you have been meeting have actually been facing? And how can we translate that into one word? And so that is how he came up with deliberately selfish. So now we tailor-made that, and we're like, you know what? I meet so many people, and I can't meet everyone in this world. Because I used to have so many people calling me from Germany, from US, from UK. They want sessions. I am running out of time. I don't have sessions. And I was like, you know what? Let me create a product that will reach where I am not, so they will buy it and they will be able to use it and it will be able to help them. So now I am collapsing the time factor. Now I am not going to be everywhere, because I can't be everywhere doing the same thing. So now you see, I have changed my financial habits. I wrote the book once. Up to now, the book is still paying me. So I have collapsed the time factor. That I can earn that book without writing it. I'm not writing it, okay? But I'm still earning from that book. And guess what? The ebook is selling more than the cover book. That means there is no printing involved. And the ebook is actually highly priced, yeah? So I wrote it once, and it's still, there are some courses that I've done, for example, the recovery from narcissistic abuse. I have never done that course again. I don't give it as much time. It is still making money. The course for the teens, high achievers, it is still making money. There are people that don't have time to come for sessions, but they would want to buy that course, and so they can display it on TV or even on their phones for their teens to watch it. And they still pay money for that. So you realize, where would I have been if I had not created all these products?